Got the briefcase? Good. Great, even. But the job isn't over. No, your next task is to go to the room right next to mine and hand this briefcase to the hacker prick sitting at a computer. His name is Alex, and I don't like talking to him. Oh, that tantalizing, was it? Well, maybe once you complete this monumental task that I've assigned you, we can discuss it further. Go on now. There's a sweaty hacker that is desperately crying out for this briefcase.
Oh, got a little present for me, do ya? And don't suppose that frigid bitch Morgan happened to include a love letter for me, eh? No, whatever. Just hand me that briefcase and let me plug this bitch in. Well, that's what we're gonna fucking figure out because I'm a fucking god at this shit. Some encrypted conspiracy nutjob psychotic ramblings. I'm so slick the NCR will never know I'm onto them. You lose, bitch. That fucking hack Feldstein only wished he could work with shit this high technical. How's your robot fuck buddy feel now, Melvin? Wait, you're still here? Fuck off and let me work. Go talk to Morgan. Some of us actually have fucking jobs to do here. Stop peering over my shoulder. I've got super secret data to decompile and analyze, and you breathing on me isn't helping.
Good. Looking forward to getting that information decrypted. Sorry about making you speak with Alex. Unfortunately, he's picked up on the fact that he's good enough at his job that we can't quite fire him for being a twat. Whatever. Good news. You're getting paid now. Hooray. Oh, well, let me address that right now. Here you go. An extra reward is that I get to let you in on a little secret. It turns out, I'm not actually in the military. No, this is actually an Office of Mojave Affairs operation. This briefcase runaround? Just seeing if we could rely on you. Now, don't worry yourself over this bureaucratic nonsense. Just a formality. I think I may have a related job here. Let me see if they've forwarded me the file. Turns out I do. Good. Here's a dossier on this guy. You can read it or not. Now, Blake, the lunatic who had that briefcase you retrieved, is almost certainly in correspondence with this guy in the dossier here. That's the name. Supposedly. Hurst worked in close proximity to some government officials about a decade ago. Seems he may have been collecting some privileged information. I won't bore you with the classified specifics, but Hurst is implicated in selling some intelligence to Blake, our briefcase thief. Hurst is holed up in Red Rock Canyon, we believe, shacked up with some great con friends of his. We need a third party, you, to make contact with Hurst. Do whatever you need to do to squeeze Blake's location from him. Oh, yes. On a different note, here's something you may be interested in. I hired an assassin for you. Did I get you going? Yes, I've contracted an assassin, a rather skilled one, to back you up, if you deem it necessary. You're quite an asset to the office. It wouldn't do for you to fall prey to angry raiders or Legion retribution squads. This assassin said you could contact them in Freeside. It's near that water pump. I'll mark it on your map there. All right, that's all I have for you. Let me know what sorts of valuable intelligence you can squeeze out of Hurst.
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
Only I can keep you safe. Only I can keep you safe, my friend.
Hello there.
You're the courier. I know. I'm not sure how much your contact told you, but the short version is that I've been paid a great deal to follow you around and keep you alive. Within reason, of course. I won't stalk you around without your approval. This is an unusual contract for me, I'll admit, but I think you'll find me to be quite skilled at my job. Oh, and my name is Charlie, if your contact hasn't told you that already. Shall we depart, or... Met many men named Charlotte, have you? I'm at your command. Do you need something? On which topic? I prefer high-accuracy suppressed firearms, ideally with a high rate of fire. I'm also quite handy with a blade. I'm perfectly capable of holding my own in combat from any distance. I consider stealth to be my specialty, however. Striking unsuspecting targets and maximizing lethality in that first move is my preferred methodology. I can assist if you utilize similar tactics. I do not, however, have much in the way of training in the usage of explosives, energy weapons, or hand-to-hand combat. If they haven't told you themselves, I'm not going to speculate on their identity or motives. I've worked for them before, and they've been reliable as far as clients are concerned. That's all you need to know. Nothing personal. Discretion is part of my contract. I'm excellent at killing people. The entity that hired me wants me to follow you and kill anyone who would wish to do you harm. None of your enemies scare me, and I'm being paid a very agreeable amount. Enough to retain my services over a long stretch of time. Somebody wants you alive, Courier. Should you feel honored or terrified? Well, first and foremost, I require half of my commission up front. If a prospective client can't manage that, then there's no deal. Beyond that, I'm not especially picky. Sometimes a client will be obviously untrustworthy, and I'll decline their contract for my own security. The most common reason for me to decline a job, though, is if I don't believe I could kill the target. A common example of this would be Kaisar. I've been asked to kill him more than once, but I've always refused. I see no way for a woman to get anywhere near Kaisar, except possibly through slavery. And slaves lack for both weapons and escape options. It isn't viable. And while I consider myself to be a consummate professional, I'm not so dedicated to my career that I'll kill myself in the attempt. However, if I accept a contract, it will be carried out. I won't be bribed, intimidated, coerced, or convinced. If I have a target, they will die. Very well.
Outward.
You might be surprised by just how many people want that Crier boy's head on a pike.
Hey.
No sudden movements, friend. Keep it calm. The fuck you want with me? Yo, for fuck's sake. I'll tell you the same story I've told everyone else, okay? I don't fucking know who Blake is, and I don't give a fuck neither. Yeah, look, I stole some fucking documents. This Blake guy wanted to buy them. He operated through a courier, so I never met him. We made our wonderful exchange through a dead drop, so I never fucking met him. That's it. Now fuck off, NCR. Oh, not a company man. Independent contractor, then. You're just like me, friendo. I fell into the same old scam. Was working for the Burke estate. Clerical bullshit. Total garbage. Wasn't trusted with nothing. But I grabbed the good papers all the same. That was 14 years ago. Old Henry has more important things to worry about. His nasty fucking son. I met that little fucker a couple times. I laughed when I heard what happened to him. Goes to show, you grow up wealthy, you end up an ass. That was you? Ha! Good fucking job! Did you hear the little bastard confess? Full confession. Guilty of all charges. No need for a big show trial. Ah! I just know his senator daddy was waiting in the wings with his corrupt legal team, ready to get the child rapist off scot-free. Nope. Adam spilled his guts to the whole world. I can imagine how purple the senator's face was when he saw his legacy carted off. And let me tell you, some rich boy senator's son never worked a day in his life, soft and weak as can be, locked up in serious prison. And that same soft little bitch is in there for fucking kids. I think little Adam is gonna be on the receiving end of his favorite hobby. Serves him fucking right if you ask me. Not a liar. I told you the truth already. I told the truth a dozen times. NCR dogs keep coming after me, barking the same bullshit story. If I was in Cali, no doubt they'd have me thrown into a very tiny cell and left me to rot. But the military isn't arresting nobody. You know what it is? I think they're looking for a fall guy. They want to pin all the intel leaks they can onto me. Alone. And why not? They know I'm good for at least one intelligence brief. I'm a junkie. No one cares to defend us druggy shits. Listen, I know you're just some contractor. Nobody in the NCR would lay a finger on that Burke kid. No way. Not with the clout his daddy swings. Fuck Blake. I got some dirt on the dirtiest family in the whole fucking country. And I can promise you, they already want you dead, mailman. I want to kick the Burke estate in their balls, friend. And since you've already spat in the senator's precious legacy, you ought to help me out. Mr. Big Senator won't ever forget what you did. He's a vindictive old cunt, and he'll hound your ass till you're dead and buried. And I'll tell you what, I can sweeten the pot for you. If you really care that fucking much about that Blake moron, I might be able to help. I told you the truth. I don't know where he is, and I've never met him. But I could probably bait him out. Whatever, he doesn't mean shit to me. We got a deal? You'd be fucking crazy to say no. Now we're fucking talking. The plan is this. I know of 3 family contracts that ain't blood relations or weird loyal servants, like that creep Zed. You pick their brains, get them to cough up anything they know about Burke's scheming bullshit, and bring it back here to me. We throw it all together, along with everything I know, and all your dealings with Adam the Kid Toucher, and we put together the narrative. We get everything in place, we release it publicly, and I get your pal Blake to stick his head up to investigate. Everybody wins, except Burke. So the 3 contacts I'm aware of, named Paul Winters, Stan Gold, and Kevin Massey. Massey worked on the Burke's ranch back west. The Brahmin industry is what made the Burkes rich, and they're still in business. Those Brahmin Baron types have always been ruthless. But anything that happens on the Burke estate is beyond me. Want to know more? Gonna have to talk with someone who was there. I know Massey got arrested a while back. But I also know that the prison got busted open, and all the ex-cons are wild and free. Our guy might just be with them. I did clerical bullshit for one of his campaigns back 14 years ago, I think it was. Sure, I wasn't witness to anything too out there. Burke ain't dumb enough to openly discuss his dirty business around random peons like me. But I know my fair share of lesser crimes. There was serious embezzlement, bribery, bit of blackmail here or there. And of course, he's good buddies with President Kimball. That one ain't so shady on its own, but we know he's getting kickbacks from it. NCR keeps sending their people to interrogate me. If I was in Cali, they'd throw me in the cell and leave my ass to rot. As it is, I just get soldiers and freelancers, like you, hounding my ass. Enough's enough of that shit, I say. None of those assholes are gonna bother fighting through the heart of the con territory just to have me say, "Don't know where Blake is," again. Besides, my buddy Three Piece is in the cons. He and I go way back. He vouched for me, so the cons are okay with me hanging around. For now. Zed? He's the security chief for the Burke estate. He does whatever the Burkes need done, and gives them plausible deniability while he's at it. Apparently he's been knocking around the estate doing the dirty jobs for the head of the family for over a century. I'll tell you right now, when Burke cries for your head after that shit with his son, it'll be Zed hiring the assassins for him. Ghoul. Bigger and faster than most ghouls you meet, though. Most of them got pretty bad muscle atrophy. Not said, though. Guess it works out. And I fucking hate rich assholes that think their bank accounts put them above basic fucking morality. Now that's Burke to a T. He has an important last name. He was born into wealth. He drinks fancy fucking wines while us regular people starve in the streets. And yeah, I sold some of his documents to interested parties, but that doesn't mean I got my hands in every data breach in the NCR. I'm getting fucking scapegoated, all because I enjoy a little chemical relaxation here and there, and I know he's the one pursuing the charges. Fuck him and fuck his big fancy family dynasty. You wanna make a habit of spitting on the little guy, eventually he's gonna get fed up. That's me. Yeah, another time, sure.
I'd kill you right now if I could.
Running around powder gang territory bold as you please. Not entirely sure that's wise. That isn't a threat, mind you, I'm just saying. Some of these guys are a touch unhinged. Keep your gun loaded, right? So, you need something or what? I did. I was a ranch hand on their estate back in California. I'm not particularly interested in politics, nor the familial rivalries of Brahmin dynasties. I sense you're angling for some sort of specific information, though. What is it? Ah, I see what this is. Yes, I believe I could tell you a few things that may interest you. However, I'm in a delicate situation here. I'd need something in return. Nothing immoral, just helping get me to a safer position than powder gang territory. Agreed? Excellent. Now I like to plan ahead. When I was arrested, I contacted a friend of mine in the Mojave to put together a little supply cache for me. I didn't expect my exit from prison would be near as explosive as it was, but I did have some vague notions of slipping away one night sight unseen. I've tried several times to contact my friend, but I've had no luck. Knowing how things are, I expect something unpleasant may have occurred. If you'd be so kind as to head to the tribal village near Goodsprings and retrieve my supplies for me, I would be most grateful. Was a ranch hand on their estate back west. With how much land they have and how many Brahmin, they need all the workers they can get. And I know you're referring to the senator. I didn't work for him, though I saw him come to the ranch from time to time. The man in charge of the Burke Brahmin enterprise is Tobias Burke, the senator's younger brother. He paid my wages, but otherwise we rarely spoke. I was friends with his son Patrick. He's a good sort. My employer at the time, yes. I rarely saw the man himself for a number of reasons. The estate was fucking gargantuan for one, or for another he had a great many employees like myself. In any event, I can tell you he was a fairly harsh sort of individual. He lacked humor, put it that way. Last I saw him, he was bedridden. Bad cases of cancer, I understand. Apparently he's still alive. Barely. He won't be long for this world. Patrick? Good friend of mine, really. We're around the same age, and he was oddly keen to see the groundwork of his father's operation. When I was off work, we would often spend time at nearby bars chasing various skirts. All in good fun. He wasn't like his cousin Adam. Last I saw him, he was enlisting in the army. I don't think anybody was thrilled with his decision, but he stuck by it. Said that his country needed him more than his dad's Brahmin empire ever could. Way I heard it, he's a bona fide war hero now. No doubt his family approves of his military career, now that it brought the family more prestige. Well, that's not a story that reflects especially well on me, you understand? Not in the sense that I'm some kind of dangerous lunatic, but, well, it's stupid. So, I was seeing this girl, right? And she was, how to put this delicately, accustomed to a certain level of affluence in her life. I wanted to keep her around, so to finance her preferred lifestyle, I may have, sold things that I had no right to, yes? And when someone noticed they were bereft of their earthly possessions, they pointed out, "Hey, Massey suddenly has a lot of cash for a dirt farmer." Told you, it was stupid and makes me look bad. Still, I'd rather look like an idiot than a psychopath like my cellmate Darby. He shouldn't have even been in prison. Seems to me that the noose was invented for men like him. He was locked up for murdering his family. I know this because he liked to brag about it. He talked about how he beat his son to death with a length of pipe, same way normal people would talk about the goddamn weather. One night, no reason at all, he just stares me down, says, "Wanna know something funny? I know where he lives, the sheriff that caught me." I don't much like the notion that he's alive out there, but I figure he must be. Took off with the little gang and headed west. Are you serious? I had that place pegged as a death trap as soon as the riot was over. I told him, get out while you still can. And now that I've been proven right, and you think I should waltz back on over there? I'd rather not, thanks. Well, to be fair, overpopulation was the second biggest cause of the riot in the first place. The biggest was that we had dynamite. But, yeah, you're not wrong. Thing is, random wasteland toughs are drifting in and joining up, even though they haven't done any time. They see it as indistinguishable from any other gang, and they're not exactly wrong. It's like how the cons used to be a contingent of angry vaulters, but over time, new blood joined, founding members died, and now it's something new. Give it enough time, Powder Gang will stop being escaped cons, and it'll turn into a big gang that likes bombs in the color blue. Not that they'll last that long. They're poorly armed, surrounded by enemies on all sides, and no real unification. Oh well, they won't be missed. Am I a powder ganger, though? Sure, I'm an escaped con. I got this nifty prison shirt on, and some dynamite in my pocket, but the thing is, I'm not interested in robbing people, blowing people up, or any of that other shit. So, I'm not sure I am a powder ganger. Not really. Adios.
Target spotted.
It's a good day to sharpen my blade.
You won't be remembered. Interesting. What would bring the Khans and the Fiends to blows? Perhaps the Khans tried to save the villagers. Too late, I suppose.
That stings.
Target silenced. I'm not impressed. Yes. And I may have answers. Ask. I suppose. Interpret it as you want. I just don't have much to say. We only have so much time on Earth. Less than we usually expect. I'd prefer not to waste it on idle chatter. Ready for an anticlimax? I purchased it at an exorbitant price. I read about their uses and heard testament to how they were one of the few times Vault-Tec produced something that actually worked. I decided it would be a useful tool for my work. No doubt you agree from personal experience. When you say men, do you specifically mean adult males or just mankind in general? Because the latter number is far higher. As for specific numbers, I have no idea. Likely triple digits either way. I'm quite good at what I do, and my prices are very reasonable. Killing is my profession. I suppose I'm just not interested in making a sport of it, keeping track of numbers and personal records. Well, that depends on whether you believe the term actually has requirements before it can accurately apply to a person. There's no shortage of people who claim to be assassins. If you take them at their word, then the Mojave is flooded with the profession. And most of these sorts consider assassination to mean walking right up to their target and announcing their murderous intent. Then they die. In my eyes, they're nothing more than worthless thugs, not assassins, no matter how much they might crow otherwise. Actual professional killers who operate covertly and professionally are few and far between. So be it. I don't talk about completed contracts. I'm paid for silence, not just killing. No, I've never catastrophically failed a job. Even if I did, I still don't talk about previous contracts. As I've said. Any assassin worth the title doesn't accidentally kill anyone. They kill who they mean to kill. No more, no less. I'm much the same. As for innocence, if you even believe in the concept, it isn't my place to make ethical judgments on my targets. But I've certainly killed my fair share of people that common society would deem innocent and worthy of protection. You know that cliché about the tortured assassin with a heart of gold, with strict rules of honor, never killing women or children? That isn't me. I've killed women, children, the unarmed and the defenseless. A target is a target. I don't care about the rest. And no, I've never felt one iota of guilt for any of it. I don't really feel anything at all, in any context. I'm rather cold-blooded. I'm not a particularly opinionated person, but I'll answer as I can. Pulse grenade to lock up their armor, and then a blade through the neck seam under their helmet. Kevlar is useless against blades. Oh, were you asking how I feel about their methods or philosophies? It seems pointless to me. Perhaps if I saw inside their secret little headquarters, I would formulate something resembling an actual opinion. Or perhaps not. I don't feel anything about House. Not to imply I'm inundated with feelings for anything else, of course. I have no stake in this armistice with the NCR. Nor do I care how he manages the new Vegas city-state. That's his business, literally and otherwise. I can tell you that he seems like the sort of individual who could use the services of a skilled assassin, at least. Pass along one of my business cards the next time you meet him, would you? I'd prefer they don't take power, if for no other reason than my hunch that they'd take objection to everything I represent. Despite my sex, my only talents are killing. As if that weren't enough, I'm not even biologically capable of bearing children. If someone in the Legion wanted to purchase my services, fine. I don't pick and choose my clientele based on their personal ideology. But I suspect that wouldn't happen. If nothing else, the Legion seems quite firm in their beliefs, less likely to bend their own rules. Their loss. I suppose they'll just have to keep relying on their own assassins, shoddy and ineffectual as they may be. For a group espousing law and order and justice for all, my initial thoughts were that they would feel obligated to try and kill or detain me. But I've found numerous clients among their population, especially the upper echelons of their class hierarchy. The more a man espouses the importance of democracy and fair play, the more likely he is to hire me if he finds himself losing, I've found. Though, that's not what you asked. My feelings on the Republic as a whole are quite similar to my feelings on everything else in life. That is to say, I feel nothing. I generally don't feel much of anything. The fiends aren't an exception. They don't hire me, and nobody else hires me to kill them. Fiend hunting is good publicity for headhunters and bounty killers. For killers that operate in the shadows, they're not worth the paltry bounties that army personnel and grieving families can offer up. I've done a job or two for the cons. Their feud with the NCR is a matter of blood, so hiring outside assassins is too impersonal. But if it's a matter of maintaining their stranglehold on the drug market, oh yes. They're quite willing to employ any means available. As for actual opinions, their war with the NCR is folly. It doesn't matter how tough they are, they don't have the numbers to win. The Brotherhood already learned that lesson, to their sorrow. And I can say from experience, members of the Brotherhood are harder to kill. If they truly wish to establish their own Khanate, they should evacuate the Mojave in short order. Worthless. There can be good money in performing jobs for criminal gangs, or for decapitating criminal gangs. But the powder gangers don't have the money to hire assassins, and they're too vulnerable for anyone to bother contracting me. I respect their conviction, even as I'm convinced that they're doomed to fail. Accessible medical aid and the free exchange of ideas are appealing concepts, and most followers I've met truly believe in what they're doing. However, they're operating from a perspective that most people are inherently good, which doesn't really seem to be true, in my experience. Blithely ignoring reality, no matter how well-intentioned, will eventually lead to sorrow and failure. It's only a matter of time. I would approve. And I'd also recommend you hire someone skilled that can neutralize threats before they cause any trouble. I assure you, the leader of a commerce-centric independent city-state would be able to afford to keep me on retainer. I think that paranoia is wise. If you spend the rest of your life looking over your shoulder, you're less likely to take a knife in the spine. But, unless you intend to turn on me, you have nothing to fear in that regard. I don't accept contracts on people that I know in any capacity. Even more important is that I'm already under contract to keep you alive. Of course, I would say the same thing if I really were plotting to kill you when you least expect it. I suppose you'll never know. Are you asking for personal reasons? I'm afraid I can't accept any contracts from you. I strongly prefer anonymity from my clients. Dead drops, encrypted communication, couriers. It's safer for them and for myself. But in general, I don't have a fixed price point. It depends on the target. Some random outlaw nobody, a couple hundred caps. High-ranking military personnel, at least 1,000, likely more. President Kimball, 100,000, up front. Could I? Absolutely. Would I? Unlikely. The only ones I can think of with both the motive and the financial incentive would be the Legion. For a faction so enraptured by social Darwinism, they're rather infatuated with the notion that women are incapable of murder. Their loss. You have a remarkable talent for surviving attempts on your life, and it tends to go poorly for the prospective killers. Factoring personal risk, I'd require at least 50,000, possibly more, depending on other factors. Next time some amateur killer fails to execute you, search their body for the death order they inevitably stuffed into their pocket. More likely than not, the payout being offered is laughably small, as if you needed further proof of how worthless an assassin they are. As you say. That.
Onward and outward.
Yeah. Much obliged. Ah, yes, excellent. He even managed to scrounge up an assault rifle. Very handy. The village was full of cazadors. I hope you killed them all painfully. My friend who put together this supply cache deserved better. Well, this will help quite a bit. However, I can't help but notice that there isn't a change of clothes in this box anywhere. I don't believe it would be wise for me to venture into the world still wearing this nifty blue shirt that proudly advertises my fugitive status. Could I trouble you to grab a set of leather armor for me? It would come in handy for a career I'm strongly considering.
You looking to buy some supplies? Can do. Give me a shout if you need anything else. Take it easy now.
Grim's got some new sheriff watching over the town now.
Yeah. Much obliged. Now, you wanted to know if I knew of any questionable activities on the Burke estate, yes? Well, one oddity that springs to mind were the women that were trucked in. Every few months, a cargo truck would pull into the estate and a few dozen women would exit the back and head inside. A couple days later, they leave. They're very pretty. Not hookers from Reno, which was my initial thought, and there were never any parties or anything. I knew better than to start asking questions, so I never did. What else? Ah, yes.
The estate had a small handful of armed guards, private employees, mind you. On one occasion at the nearby bar, I overheard a pair of them having a loud-ass drunken conversation, talking about how they got that Strauss bitch the night before for the boss. Coincidentally, a woman with the surname of Strauss died the night before in strangely vague circumstances. And this same woman was an old business partner of Mr. Tobias, and apparently they had a rather hostile falling out. She was gonna sue. That's all I know. Thanks for helping me with that little favor. I'm off to Freeside now. Hopefully I survive the journey. Adios.